Hello, Musto0063 here for Shovel Knight Part 9. Last time we beat Mole Knight, completed Knuckles Quarry and cleared off a bit more of the map. So let's do a bit more exploring. And there's an outline of the Black Knight. Enchantress. With you by our side, Black Knight, total dominion is within our grasp. I beg of you, take my words to heart. Your safety is my only concern. Was that the Enchantress? Tell me what... You. Haven't you tired of this charade? Stay out of this. You never were one to blindly follow, Black Knight, but the Order and the Enchantress must be stopped. Fool. You're headed down a ruinous path. The only path I seek leads to the Tower of Fate, and I will reach it. Never. Steal my shovel. And again he laughs at us. Now, this is the second encounter with the Black Knight. It is actually entirely optional. You do not have to fight him. Depends on where he's on the map. You can mess around and wait for opportunity where you can actually beat the last three Order of No Quarter Knights without having to defeat the Black Knight for a second time, but that's by the by. He has a much beefed up health bar, up to 10 hit points, as indeed are all the other bosses at this point in time. And he's got a few new extra tricks. So one of them is this kind of phasing effect, not quite the same as Shovel Knight's phased locket, but he can kind of somewhat blend into the, or zoom around and whatnot. Not terribly fast and whatnot, but just to the point of view where you can't actually attack him at that point. He's also, it seems to be a little bit faster to the point where you just can't seem to quite catch up with him as well. He also now shoots out more Hadoukens, if you want. He also does this attack where he digs up dirt from the ground and kind of splays that all over the place. You'll see now he's got a little bit clever as well. He can actually reflect back those Hadouken shots. It is possible to keep reflecting back and keep playing the reflecting game, and eventually it'll get through. But it's a bit time-consuming, a bit tedious. I already got the achievement for beating him by getting the final shot in with the projectile anyway. So yeah, it's a bit, and it's also a bit much harder in this fight to kind of corner him in one of the corners and repeatedly kind of poke on his head. But yeah, that wasn't a terribly good showing. But yeah, he's still not too bad. But with him out of the way, let me just I'll just spend a bit of time showing off the three options. So we've got the Stranded Ship layer of Propeller Knight, Clockwork Tower layer of Tinker Knight, and of course I have to show off that we have some locked gates in our way again that we can't get past without beating these knights. But before we go to the two, we're going to go to the Flying Machine layer of Propeller Knight. This level is easily the most difficult on a first-time playthrough, when you're completely unprepared for what's coming, and I would say probably even when you know what you're doing, there are still hazards to take on board. Bear in mind that I've cleared this stage at least 6 times before I did this Let's Play on the Steam version. I cleared it on Wii U and 3DS, and I had to play each game at least 3 times to get all the feats and everything. So yeah, I've played this at least 6 times, and I'm going to have a proverbial nightmare on this level. I don't die anywhere, but oh boy, this was a shambles. But hopefully it'll be an entertaining shambles for you all. Talked a little bit over the beginning of the level, but that area, you see where I am now with the treasure chest, you can get up there from this screen, but since I made a mess of the fan and getting rid of this platform, which would have now moved me to jump up to the left, I had to go up to the next screen and then drop down in order to get it. The problem, I guess, with this stage in terms of difficulty is that there are lots of fans around which cause havoc. There are also, if you hadn't kind of guessed from the stage being the layer of Propeller Knight, it's going to be taking place largely in the sky-based level, so that means bottomless pits all over the place. And abundance of really rather annoying enemies as well. So here we go. We've got wind that's constantly pushing us to the right. We've got bottomless pits. We've got jellyfish type enemies that electrify, and you will get hit if you hit them or if you touch them at that point in time. And these annoying bastards, the propeller flyers kind of enemies that just, oh my god, they are so annoying. They always seem to be around when there are pits and everything. And if you jump while they're kind of blowing the fan, you just get knocked back a huge distance, and they always really irritating. I phase locked it past this guy because he's also really freaking annoying. I kind of stayed over here in order to just kind of defeat him, because I think he has quite a few gems, and it's probably worth doing if you can get over that right-hand side, but boy, that enemy is really freaking annoying as well. He can also kind of save himself if he looks like he's going to fall down a pit. As you might actually see there, he kind of had a propeller where he kind of got out of the pit as well, so don't think it's because perhaps you knock him down into a pit that you've got past him. No. Here we have cannonballs, or we've seen in the previous screen as well, so we now know we can actually bounce off them. But yeah, this enemy here is just always shows up when there are all other manner of obstacles in the way, spikes, pits, and yeah, you really need to be careful that you don't jump up really into his fan, or he'll send you flying. And yeah, with pits and spikes around, it's usually a bad idea. This section's a little bit obscured by the foreground. As you can see, it's covering Shovel Knight here, so I decided I'd be a little bit kind of cowardly and cautious and just kind of wait for all these propeller mice to come at me, get rid of them all, clear the screen off, and then hopefully proceed. It should be reasonably obvious where the ground is or isn't, so yeah, just be careful, and if you can try and take out the propeller mice before you kind of move off. Here you can kind of see, but thanks to the cannonball shots from below, where the ground is and where it's not. You'll see the explosions. Some of them hit where the floor is, and where there's no, they go up to the ceiling. Where they go up to the ceiling, that's where there's a hole in the floor. So yeah, that's the kind of a technique to get by there. Yeah, apologies for this mid-boss. We might have a bit of a hypercam freak out, unfortunately, if there's not enough happening at the top of the screen. But yeah, this little thing, and let me tell you, without the little spark shock thing, this could be a huge pain in the neck, because it goes up to the, it slams down. If you're on the ground at that point in time, your shovel gets stuck in the ground, and the bombs that it kind of shoots out, you're almost bound to get hit by. You can whack the bombs back at it to try and do some damage as well, and I certainly advise that, provided you can get out of the way. And not get caught up in the explosion as well. But no, that mid-boss can actually be rather annoying. But thankfully, because I'm at full health and I've got that ground spark technique, then that actually makes things quite a bit easier. Oh boy, am I going to ever hate this screen. Well, maybe the one above it, or this one more so, but we'll get to that later. There was a little nook over to the right-hand side here that kind of might have thought was an area to go to. There are different ways you can get through that. You can do like what I did there, go high up and then fall down to get some momentum. I almost made a huge mess up here, by the way. Another way is probably to use an item that you would get possibly in, I think in Tinker Knight stage, but since I've not done it, I obviously couldn't use it here. But yeah, anyway, going up the ladder and using momentum to get down seems to be a good idea. Here is the Propeller Dagger. So a very fun weapon actually, soar through the sky, blade first. Now you can reach all sorts of places you couldn't get before. It's a very fun level, and you can actually kind of spam it if you want to try and multiple times to try and just get a lot of distance. It's a very fun weapon. You will probably lose a little bit of height when you kind of keep doing it. It's very hard to just mash it so much that you stay exactly at the same height, but yeah, you can use it again and again and again to try and get over long pits, as indeed is probably what is intended with the item. Definitely fish there. There was a music sheet there, and the other thing about this guy as well, he does really annoying things like that, where he lands right on you, right above you, so you can't really do too much. You don't want to jump up, because if he then blows, you'll just go flying, and say, in this case, I'd have gone flying into a pit, and he just kind of sat on top of me. Waited a bit and then thought, oh, I'll move again. Hey, where am I going to move? I'll move right on you. Yay. So, yeah, no, I hate those enemies. And a few little kind of areas here with moving platforms and falling platforms. Propeller Dagger, since we just got it, is clearly the way to go. And that loops us all the way back around here. Whoops. Don't do that. Right, back to this area, and here's where my nightmare starts to begin. So I thought I'd have a reasonably good handle on the timing here, but apparently not. I don't know quite what happened there. It seemed to be the absolute, because I don't know how I would kill the thing if I was going to get hit at the same time. But anyway, I seem to mess up the timing there extraordinarily. You don't have to use all of them, but again, something very weird happened there, and because of which one I was on, I fell down the pit even further. I'm somewhat lucky that the cannonballs just automatically rise up, because otherwise, if they didn't, I'd have been in even more trouble. But yeah, wow. And I don't quite know what happened with the timing here. It seems to be, it has to be kind of not perfectly aligned, but it has to be somewhat aligned so that you can get all the way across. It's no good having like the fourth one electrify like it did a couple of goes ago when I'm halfway across, because otherwise it's just out of sync. So yeah, I don't quite know. Well, I don't know quite know what exactly was going wrong with the timing on that other screen, but yeah, we got past it eventually. We now have this little one, which is brilliant. We've got the enemy up there who's annoyingly shooting these shots which split apart. You've got fans. You've got even more mess-ups where you fall down again to this screen. Oh boy, am I sick of this, ever sick of this screen. I'm not even sure I get through this time. I think, yep, no, I'm pretty sure that happened as well, yep. The screen above, my problem was I didn't take out the stupid enemy from afar with the flare wand or use the phase locket. I was just, I wouldn't say being too, or, you know, not using it from a pride point of view and just trying to get through as it was. As I say, by this point in time, I'm just absolutely sick to the back teeth of that previous screen. So I'm like, right, no, I'm taking this git up there at the top now. So now I can just do this bit, platforming with the fans without any fear or you know, of getting knocked off or anything. I can take it at my leisure. But oh boy, that was a shocker. Once you kill that, when you kill that enemy, there's a little hidden area up there. If you whack the wall, there's a ladder, and up here, obviously, there's a music sheet. I don't know why why didn't I try and break apart the wall over there? I'm pretty sure there would have been something hidden over there. I don't know why I didn't do that. My bad. So with all the fun happening at the moment on this level, this is the kind of level that I'm very nervous about destroying checkpoints on, because if I die, thankfully I don't, but if I did, I'd be all the way back to the start of the level, and oh, yeah, not my all-time favourite one to have to redo. And we've still got these really annoying enemies that just blow you everywhere, sit on top of you so that you can't really do anything. And again, yeah, here, another pit area. Be cautious here. Just don't go gung-ho and just go immediately over it. Just kind of idle your way up to the edge of the platform, because there's another one of those fan blower flying enemies, which if you rush that section, you'll get completely caught out. It'll blow you while you're trying to pogo on cannonballs, and you'll have a hell of a time, believe me. And again, don't go too quick here. Wait for the screen to kind of, it's an auto scroller. It wasn't obvious by now. Wait for the fans to be kind of a bit, you know, at least toward the middle of the screen before you go too far. Otherwise, again, one of those enemies will come in. If you're mucking around with the breakable platforms, you'll likely have ruined your path. And yeah, he'll either blow you off or send you back, and then yeah, you won't be able to get across. Fortunately, on this bit there is no fan blowing enemy, so yeah, just hop on the cannonballs and then hop on the platforms, and don't do anything silly like that. That's the second time this level I've already done that, and here's hoping I don't do it again. Here's me switching to the phase locket just out of pure disbelief at how crummy I think I've done so far on this level. I'm like, okay, I'm sure I could mess this up. So just in case I miss a platform or the fan blows me, let's just switch to the phase locket, just as a precaution in case I fall off or land on spikes and whatnot. And here I do it. I think I don't know whether I do it here again. It might be. Yeah, I kind of did before, but then not when the actual point in time where I've sailed over this fan to get close to the spikes. So I don't quite know why I even bothered there. But yeah, be very careful there. Don't go too far to the right and end up, and land on those spikes. It's not fun. And I think I'm going to have to do it all over again, because here's me trying to get a gem, which is it's fine. It's fine being there. In fact, it wasn't the gem. It wasn't the gem get that cost me. It was just being a complete pillock for the next bit. And I lucked out there. Fortunately, I had the phase locket, so if I had missed that platform, I could have activated it before I landed on the spikes. But yeah, no, I messed up the last bit. The fan does blow you to the left, so you need to be a little bit quick going through that section, or go through when the fan's not blowing. But yeah, don't do what I did, whatever the hell I did. And just kind of miss your jump or whatnot. Oh boy, yeah. Like I said, this level did not go well. So here I decided to make a run for it, and yeah, that's probably the best strategy, to be honest, rather than mucking about waiting there for the fan to fake out and whatnot. And yeah, there's a huge annoying enemy there, actually, should I say. So I decided, right, enough of this level. I don't want to fall down that screen. Let's just phase lock it and get by, because I'm starting to get sick of this. I'm starting to get sick of the backtracking, nonetheless. Unfortunately, I do still have to take out this thing, and one of the gems fell down the pit, which is a little bit annoying, but hey, I killed him and I earned those gems, so give me them. Okay, we're back outdoors again, and we've got another wind section. Sometimes it blows you up, sometimes it blows you down. You can tell from the direction of the leaves or the debris that's kind of in which direction that's going. But we need to make use of the platforms along the way. So when it's blowing down, you want to rest on a on top of a platform. When it's blowing up, you want to get stuck under a platform. And just don't rush this section. You could admittedly get through it a lot quicker than I have here, but yeah, I've taken a huge amount of, or a lot of risks by destroying all the checkpoints. I want to be super careful. You could probably use the propeller dagger to fly through that at breakneck speed, or phase lock it would probably do as well, but yeah, here I'm taking my time, as I do in this one. You've also got the wind here that's blowing you quite substantially over the right, and you've also got the wind that completely sucks you up to the ceiling, so spikes on the ceiling, you need to be careful where you position yourself. There's an annoying enemy placement here, albeit it's only a tiny one, it shouldn't take too much trouble, but given that you're blowing to the right and up the top, I just decided again, right, let's just phase lock it through and make use of the wind when it's blowing in my favour to move to the right, and we'll get through quickly. And you'll be pleased to know this is the final bit. So yeah, just pogo off the cannonballs and you should be fine. The jellyfish don't electrify, so you don't have to worry about timing that out. It's just as simple. They're not that cruel, thankfully. So obviously I get some extra gold for getting a fishing out of goldfish. You'll be delighted to know, as indeed I was, that we are at the boss. So that's the final checkpoint. They don't even put a chicken at the end to refill all your health. Boo! And I decided for some reason to fish there. Believe me, it was a wrong button press. Propeller Knight. Ah, mon petit blue friend. The sunset, she is beautiful, non? Get down here and face me, you gyroscopic jester. Oh, so rude. My crew, they were not hospitable? My ship, it was not magnificent? I'm not here to be entertained. I must reach the Tower of Fate. All business, no pleasure. Such a shame. Very well, then. En garde. Do forgive my French accent, or attempt at a French accent, or whatever the hell that was. Oh, Propeller Knight. He's really annoying. He does a lot of damage. His moves, this thrust here, or this jab, it looks really cool, I'm going to admit, and I do love the design of him, but that jab does a hell of a lot of damage. He also has a fan, so he'll kind of blow you off screen and then stick his sword up, so you obviously need to be careful not to land on that. He then does his attack where he summons this ship in the background. Sometimes it will, depending on how well you think you've done in the fight, sometimes it will fire out mini bombs which just explode. Sometimes they'll fire out cannonballs which break apart the floor, so that makes this very annoying, because one wrong move here, you fall into a pit and it's an insta-kill. So typically I really don't like bosses where there's an insta-kill element, so yeah. This fight is hectic, he's very quick, and yeah, the threat of insta-death is always makes me very nervous on this one. It's a very tricky fight, particularly on a first go when you're unprepared for it. Whew, but with that, finally, I say that was an absolute shambolic display on the level. Without dying, I will repeat that, but oh, that could have gone infinitely better. It's only the first night of these three, so yeah, we don't get any dream sequence. And before we end the video, as one of the locks breaks apart, there's another wandering traveller who appears on the map. So why not go check him out? What magic is this? Phantom Strike. Power, honour, the traits of a respectable warrior. Sir, I don't believe we've met. We meet today on the field of battle. We have both defeated many knights and travelled far. Today we fight. Stand aside, you and I have no reason to battle. Conflict is a reason unto itself, brave knight. Today you will be tested. Are you ready? So this is the last of the wandering travellers, and to be honest, he's probably one of the easiest, or he's certainly the easiest when I first encountered them. He seems to spend a lot of time just thrusting electricity all over the place. It doesn't really seem too threatening. When he kind of summons it from above, you just need to be careful that you're not above, and when he also kind of phases in this bit. But a lot of the fight, he just seems to spend walking around slowly, thrusting electricity to the side, and that he just leaves himself so open for attacks. So yeah, it's, I would say, probably one of the easier, one of the easiest of the wandering travellers. Despite the fact that I took 6 damage to him somehow. Ha! I've been bested, but barely. You still need training to overcome what lies ahead. Farewell, Shovel Knight. And he's also rather stingy with the money he leaves behind. It's only Reese who was, well, Mr. Hat, but that was more kind of recouping the magic, the money you gained by helping out the moochers. But there we go. I get the well-met achievement for defeating all the wandering travellers, and that is the end of the video. So, yeah, see you next time for part 10. Cheerio.